So that game, 1-1 you finished at the Etihad, Manchester City and Liverpool, and straight off the bat, I'm not doing a full in-depth review, anything like that. I'm going to go over 4 main points. But before we start that, the Waffle King Hamza, the Man City fan, on the Football Terror straight after the game, claiming that they don't have any squad depth in the Manchester City camp because Pep doesn't spend money, or he won't spend money when they've spent 240 million euros in the summer. And even Terry said to Hamza, you spent 100 mil on Grealish, you spent money on Rodri, why are you complaining? Pep made no subs. That's Pep's fault. That is Pep's fault. You cannot blame anybody but your manager, Hamza, and other City fans as well going on about this. Oh, we have no squad depth, we have no squad depth. Bruv, sort your shit out. No one else is going to cry for you after having spent hundreds of millions of dollars.
I need to say something. This summer just gone, you spent 240 million euros. How would you mean you don't spend?
We don't spend on top quality players, and we've lost so many. The players we've lost, Fernandinho, we didn't get the right replacement. Where's Fernandinho's replacement? Who is it? Who's Fernandinho's replacement?
Rodri. You bought him ahead of time.
Rodri and Fernandinho playing together. When Rodri gets injured or gets tired, who comes for him? I used to see Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, and all these guys.
So what I'm hearing from you, let me jump in a second. So what I'm hearing from you, Hamza, is you're unhappy with the poor squad building that Pep did in the summer. He's done a bad job, Pep, in your opinion.
We needed extra players. That was not enough.
Yes, so he's done a bad job.
He hasn't done a bad job. It's just our recruitment. We need to be arrogant and go and get more players. We need to get more. We couldn't. Don't you guys feel sorry for us?
Now, City's goal. It was a fairly even game, finished probably in favour of City, more shots, more possession, more passes. Obviously, they're playing at the Etihad, but we broke their winning streak, finished 1-1. And I think that was going on some stupid amount of games, 20-odd something games or whatever it was. I don't know, something ridiculous, but almost would have got there if not for Trent's equaliser in the 80th minute or something thereabouts. But the opening goal came from an Alisson scuffed clearance, trying to do the pass out to Salah that he's done many times again. We scored like that. Was it last year or the year before where we ran it? Salah takes a touch, turns Cancelo and puts it past Ederson. And that's what opened up the goal, the opportunity for Ake to assist Haaland, because it basically had to hand it to him. It's not like they sliced through us through 20 or 30 odd passes. That does not say they're a bad team or they need to. But my point is they still have the quality in order for them to do that once they do get possession of the ball so close to our penalty box and to give the ball to Haaland. Now, you might say, oh, Matip and Van Dijk and XYZ and all this and that, but you can't sit there and blame them when Ake was all open. Obviously, the ball was expected to go all the way through to Salah, but it didn't. That's what happens. You still need the quality to assist and finish, but they didn't get past us like it was some intricate bit of play and rip through us, and our defense was in 6s and 7s. It was a lucky break, but they made it count. Let's also not forget Alisson played 2 games for Brazil in the qualifiers while Ederson was injured apparently, and so was Haaland after coming off injured for Norway. And a lot of people were saying online it could have just been banter or some shit talk, good old-fashioned shit talk that, look at Liverpool players, Diaz, Szoboszlai, Salah, Elliott, scoring goals for their nations, getting assists or whatever, winning games, where Ederson and Haaland feigned injuries so they didn't have to play, so they were fit for this match. That's what a lot of online fans were saying. But big ups to Alisson. Hussam from This Is Football reckons it was probably his worst game. I mean, arguable, but let's continue. Rodri, of all people, calling for a handball after the ball clearly went off Gravenberch's ass cheek, thigh, leg, whatever it was, whilst jumping. The man's like 2 meters tall anyway, so jumping up high is going to, get across him. But the way he called for it, after his back was clearly turned, his hands were not even outstretched or sort of by his side, he's appealing like it actually had some merit behind it. Of all people, and a lot of other players as well were complaining too. But if he's turning and his hands are by his sides and they're not out like this and they're just by his sides, how are you going to give that as a handball when his back's turning anyways? He doesn't see where the ball is. They didn't give a handball for Liverpool when we played against Luton Town. I think when Van Dijk had to hit Barkley on the back of the head with his arms were up like this. So why would you give a pen for that when his back is turned? There was no penalty. And I think, was it Peter Drury in commentary? If I wasn't mistaken, on the Optus Sports feed. No, it wasn't Peter Drury. He was the main commentator. It was, bloody hell, his name escapes me. He's offsider. damn, I can't remember his name. But even he said, he goes, yeah, it's a bit embarrassing for Rodri to be appealing like that. I mean, bro, seriously, you've got this multi-billion pound or multi-million pound squad and you're complaining for little decisions like that. Be better. The hand on Alisson. Now, subjective calls you can complain about, you can argue, you can be annoyed, but at the end of the day, they are what they are. They're subjective. It is all depending on the person calling the match on the field at that time. The only thing that should be objective, as in it is or it isn't, it is a yes or a no, is an offside or a goal. Goal line technology, has the ball crossed the line completely? Yes, goal. If not, play on, or whatever the outcome is. Is a player offside? Is a part of a goal scoring part of their body ahead of the last defender when the ball is played? Yes or no? Cool. Goal, no goal. Okay, that's the only thing. On-field decisions, red cards, fouls, penalties, all this sort of stuff are always going to be subjective, and you're always going to have people with differing opinions. That is fine. As I said, you can complain, you can sook, you can cry. Some things work in your favor, other things work against you, okay? But you can't have an arm on a goalkeeper. If that was us and we had, I don't know, Nunez with the player on, with a hand on Edison, for example, I say, well, fair enough, because he's got his hand on the keeper. It's not like he's nudged him off and he's just feigned whatever. Goalkeepers always are going to have the advantage in the penalty box. It is what it is. Keepers always going to have decisions go their way more often than not, unless it's their own player that's bumped into him. If it's an opposition player, they're probably going to get the call. Chris Kavanagh, I think, was the referee. He said foul. VAR looked at it. They said, yeah, on-field decision sticks. So what are you complaining about? You say we don't want VAR to get involved, and yet you're complaining that VAR didn't overturn a goal. And I've seen City fans complaining and crying online, oh, Liverpool are back. Liverpool got the call because of what happened with the offside and all this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, bruv, don't have your player put their arm on a goalkeeper and you'll have no problems. I mean, if any touch on the keeper from the opposition, it's going to be a foul more often than not, okay? VAR upheld the decision. It is what it is. I don't want to hear City fans complaining and crying and saying, oh, VAR robbed us or this and that or blah, blah, blah. It wasn't Liverpool. It was VAR. It was the referees that said, you know what, referees on-field decision, cool. It's a foul on the keeper, play on. And he had his arm on him as well. It's not like he nudged him or whatever. Like, he's holding him down. So obviously it's going to have a bit of an impact. Now, some people are saying, well, what's the difference between the push in the back on, who was it? Was it Gabriel or Saliba? I forget who it was, Newcastle-Arsenal game. Well, there's two hands in the back. Was it an actual push? Was he holding him down? Some said, well, we don't know if he's actually pushing him, if he's holding him down, or he's just got his hands on his back to stop him backing into him so he can get up and head the ball. And they said, look, we can't tell what's what. Goal stands. It is what it is, man. You can complain about it. That's just how these things work out sometimes. Now, the last thing and the most annoying thing in all of this, everyone was hyped up about Doku versus Trent. Doku's going to cook Trent. Trent's going to pocket Doku. X cooked Y, or Y pocketed X. I hate this online football argument bullshit. I absolutely hate it. It's online internet comparison bullshit. Hassan made a good point on his review of the match. I'll link it down below, like the Football Terrace video where I showed you a little clip from Hamza waffling as he does, and the man needs to stop believing that everyone appreciates his views because he's gassed into thinking people actually believe him and enjoy his input. I don't know why. Nothing against the bloke, but you can't be talking that much shit and not expecting people to offer you toilet paper. Anyways, you can't stop a player from dribbling.
Trent Alexander-Arnold was on it today. Defensively, going forward, and he limited Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku is always going to be a dribbler. Make no mistake. You cannot stop Riyad Mahrez from dribbling. You cannot stop Jeremy Doku from dribbling. You cannot stop Hatem Ben Arfa from dribbling. They all dribble. They're dribblers. That's what they do. But you can limit them. And that's what Trent did. Trent was so smart in the defensive positions today. So smart, so intelligent. And it just shows me that he defends with his brain. Done nothing.
There you go. You can't stop a player from dribbling. You can't stop a player from taking you on. As he mentioned, some players are known dribblers. They're always going to try and go past you. It is what it is. You're going to be beaten a couple of times. You're going to stop them a couple of times. However, with no end product, with no goal, with no assist, a chance created, you can argue, say, okay, well, there was chances created from there. There is no cooking being done. If you're constantly being beaten and balls are being fed into the box and goals are being scored against you, or the keeper has to be making saves non-stop over and over and over again, and that's all you're doing, just getting beaten past, nothing's happening on your attacking end, you can argue that there's maybe some, poor defending being done, or some absolute fantastic attacking. Pick whichever one's going to work in your favor, right? But you can't sit there and tell me that a player that is running up and down the channels, inverting into the midfield, passing the ball around the box, doing defensive bits, stopping the opposition from actually doing anything with the ball, mind you, and scoring a goal, a lovely finish if I say so myself, running into that from that midfield deep and just smacking one along the ground past the keeper. That's fantastic in my opinion. I mean, look, it's another assist for Salah as well, another goal assist for the Egyptian king. But if you're going to tell me Trent is going to be beaten a few times from Doku and he's going to look bad in some instances, but nothing is going to come from Doku's advances on Trent, but Trent's going to come and score you a goal late in the second half and he's going to save you a point or gain you a point, if you will, I'm taking that all day. I'll take the goal over being dribbled past non-stop. Miss me with that shit, man. People want to make up like, oh, Doku did this and Doku did, he cooked Trent and this and blah, 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 blah. Trent scored a goal. Being run past a couple of times or scoring an equalising goal. You pick. Now, as you know, it all finished 1-1. There was some heated whatever afters between Nunez and Pep, and I'm not going to go through the whole squad. Some players were good, some players were bad, some players were decent, some of the subs that came on were great. Now we have to see what happens with Alisson and Jota because they both pulled up some injuries, so we'll see what happens. And look, City could have won it at the end with that Haaland header. Didn't. We could have won it at the end with a Diaz header if that was probably better on target, but it is what it is. Arsenal got their late win. Kai Havertz of all people, holy shit! How the fan base turns in that camp, man. Wow, and it's good for the title race or the what do you call it? The challenge or whatever it is. But finish 1-1, we go on to the next, and now we just keep on going. Wait and see what happens with Alisson and Jota. But all is not. All is not bad in old Scousland in Liverpool. But yeah, 1-1, you take that, and we ended City's continuous winning streak or whatever it is. Not to say like, oh, look at what we've done, but it's nice to see that a team can come there and go toe-to-toe with this Man City team and come away with a draw. For a team that a lot said we're finished and, a new midfield is not going to do anything for you. Well, there you go.